Okay, now I'm not gonna be here for long because, well, I mean, there's not really much to talk about. If you can tell, I'm not really that mad. I pretty much accepted the season was over last week. Of course, it would have been nice to get a win here, especially against the best team in the league, apparently, because the Seahawks are just so great now all of a sudden. But it would have been nice to get a win. Philip Rivers, he did what he needed to do. There is one thing that I will point out, and it's the only thing I need to point out. Because, again, Rivers did his best. He did what he needed to do. He did have a late interception, but there was 18 seconds left. He was just trying to fit one in there. Honestly, it looked like it was pass interference on Michael Pittman Jr., but we're not going to get into that because the refs were low-key favoring us the entire game. So, I have one thing to say. Shane Steichen is too conservative. Let me say that again. Shane Steichen is too conservative. I guess I have two things to say. And the defense cannot get stops when it matters. They can't get stops when it matters. The defense played amazing today. But they could not get a stop when it mattered. They just couldn't. I don't necessarily care if you're letting them get 6 field goals. Because, again, that's really a good defensive performance. Here's the thing. You have to do something at the end of the game. You have to do something instead of just giving them exactly what they need. I mean, they got the ball with 40 seconds left, and I'm going to get to that. That's my main focus right now. You cannot give them the ball with 40 seconds left. And this is sort of on the special teams too. You cannot give them the ball with 48 seconds left and just not perform. You can't do that. Kick return. You gave them about 40, 45 yards. It was a good kick by Groupie, who also had a good kick on the 6-yarder. He got to like the 40, 45. Sam Darnold throws it 20 yards. They're automatically in field goal range. You can't let that happen. No matter what. You need pass rush because they were not getting to Sam Darnold, barely. Let me see the sacks. They had 1 sack on Sam Darnold. 1 sack on Sam Darnold. You gotta be kidding. 1 sack on the guy. You need pressure. You need to pressure him. You need to make it hard. You're giving him too much time to throw, and then you wonder why you're getting burnt overhead. You wonder why that you're losing the game because you're letting up a 20-yard pass, then you let up a 10-yard pass, and then I wouldn't say easy. The kicker, Myers, had a really good day. Kicked a 56-yarder to win the game. You can't be letting that up. You need to do something. Yes, they were bending and not breaking. But it gets to a point where you can't bend at all and you still bend. And like prison bars, you bend them enough. You don't need to break them. You don't need to break the bars. You can just walk through, slither through, like this game, where the Seahawks slithered away. They slithered away from what would have been one of the craziest upsets of all time. But let me get to my main focus. And that is that Shane Steichen is too conservative. He is too scared to put the ball in the hands of his QB. I don't necessarily care that Philip Rivers had like 120 yards. I don't necessarily care. It is 3rd and 7. You're on their 50. A first down by the way, they were using their timeouts. A first down wins you the game because Groupie, he made a 60-yarder. All you need is a first down, right? It's 3rd and 7, and you run the ball. I don't care. You could put a 80-year-old at quarterback. I'm not running the ball there. I'm sorry. I'm not playing for the kick. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. Especially against a team like the Seahawks. You cannot play conservatively. If the Indiana Hoosiers did what we did and played conservatively on that final drive against Ohio State, they would have lost. But no, Curt Cignetti actually had the balls to give his quarterback a chance, which kind of different scenario. Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner, of course. Congratulations to him. And Rivers is a 44-year-old QB who can't throw 20 yards. But if they play conservatively there and don't throw it to Charlie Becker for 30 yards, they will lose that game. Ohio State was going to drive down, and they were going to win that game. Doesn't matter how good your defense is playing. You can't give them a chance no matter what. You see, when these teams play too scared and they don't have a defense that will make plays, they lose. More often than not, you'll see a game-winning drive over a defensive stop, in my opinion. More often than not. And yes, there are some examples like today. I just finished watching the Packers game. They wanted a defensive stop, which is fair. But you don't want to leave that up to chance because the defense will always be the underdog unless they're a really good defense. And the Colts, they have a good defense. They don't have a really good defense. They have a defense that will stop them from scoring touchdowns, but they don't have a defense that will stop them from scoring. They just don't. And yes, that's because of all the injuries. We don't have Sauce Gardner. Was it Cam Bynum? I think he was... I don't know. Cam Bynum, was he not? Okay, he was playing. I was thinking of the other guy. They don't have a defense that will make plays. And you're going to play conservatively and play for a 60-yard field goal. Mind you, Groupie, who has earned my respect, Groupie never hit a 60-yard field goal before. He had never hit a 60-yard field goal before this game today. His long was like 57. And you're going to play for a 60-yard field goal giving up 50 seconds? 50 seconds? The Seahawks are one of the best offenses in the game. And your defense has proven that they will not make a play. They will only stop them from scoring touchdowns. And they didn't make a play. They didn't make a big play. They didn't get a big sack. They didn't get a big turnover. They let him go down. Didn't let him score a touchdown. Got him a field goal. That ended up winning the game. Shane Steichen, you have to play hard. You have to play with some sort of balls and urgency. Because when you play conservative, when you play not to lose game, you'll lose more often than you win. You will lose more often than you win. Mind you, 3rd and 7 at their 50. If you don't get a pass, which you could have thrown a screen. You could have thrown a screen. He was good on screens. The ball was not hitting the ground much on screens. You could have thrown a screen to Pittman. You could have thrown a screen to Taylor instead of just handing it off. You're not getting a first down on a handoff no matter what. And we saw before. He made a pass that got a first down on 3rd down for Pierce. He did it. He had did it. He had did it. That doesn't make any sense. He had done it. He done it before. You have to trust him. Even on the 4th and 3, you could have went for that. You could have set up a screen, like I said. You could have ran it, honestly. They probably wouldn't expect a run there when it's 4th and 3. You have to play with some urgency, especially if you have all your timeouts, too. I just don't like the conservative play. You ran it on 3rd and 7. You gave them way too much time. And they beat you. They beat you on that alone. That's all I have to say. Getting into the stats for Rivers, all respect to you. You tried your hardest. 18 for 27, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Interception, again, very late. He was just trying to force something. I'm not going to blame him too hard on that. He also had 1 sack, which was a high snap that he had to kneel down on because the center sucks. Not that the center sucks. Our main center was out, I believe. I think it was a backup center. Taylor. He did what he could with a QB that can't throw. Not well. 25 carries, 87 yards. Fortunately, did not score today. Abdullah also 4 for 15. Rivers apparently ran once for -5 yards. I don't know where that came from. For receiving, Abdullah had a pretty good day. He had 5 for 32. Pittman caught 3 for 26. Warren caught 3 for 19. Pierce caught 1 for 16. Taylor caught 3 for 14. Downs got 3 for 13 and a touchdown. So glad to see Rivers at least get that touchdown. Oh, by the way, mind you, it was 13-3 at halftime. Or 13-6. It was 13-3 near halftime, and you just let him kick a bunch of field goals. Just saying. Defense, Bynum had a pretty good day on tackling. 7 tackles, 1 assist. Other than that, y'all all suck. You guys all suck. Apparently, Nick Cross got a forced fumble. Latu got a sack. That's the only other thing. Y'all all suck. You can't make a play. You can't make a play when it matters. Yes, you can stop them. I appreciate that. I like that. You can't make a play. These guys don't have it in them to make a play. Again, that goes back to being so conservative that you don't give the offense a chance. Any team that can't make a play doesn't make a play. For kick returns, Owe had 2 for 52. Abdullah had 2 for 71. He was better on the day, in my opinion, than Owen. Owen had 1 punt return for 2 yards. Groupie, a perfect 3 for 3 along a 60, and 1 extra point for 10 points. He had a good day. Respect to Groupie, to be honest. Full respect to him. He had to come in, kick his long. He made it in a loud environment. Just wasn't enough. And Sanchez had to punt 5 times for 228 yards. And they were all inside the 20 except for 1, which was a touchback. So, pretty good day for the punter. I guess. Looking at the Seahawks, Darnold, 22 for 36, 271 yards, and 1 sack. Charbonnet, 8 for 31 yards. One thing I do have to say, the run defense, I'll give it props. The run defense played stellar today. That's the one thing I won't fault the defense on, other than not getting a fumble, obviously. The run defense was good. That's kind of the bend mentality that I keep talking about. They were bending, but they weren't breaking. Again, it gets to a point where you bend so much, you don't need to break it. And I know I said on the Chiefs game, you bend so much, you finally break. In some circumstances like today, you can bend as much as you want, but at some point you're going to bend too hard, and they can just slip through. They can just go through. They bent, and they played good on rushing defense. They just couldn't get plays. They couldn't get stops. They couldn't get anything. Walker, 9 for 17. Darnold, 4 for 5. And Shaheed ran 1 for -3 yards. Unfortunately, I have to say it. Smith-Njigba, he is Offensive Player of the Year. I don't see Taylor getting up to anything anymore. We just can't run anymore. We can't. It's too predictable now. So, he had a really good day. 7 for 113. Shaheed also had really good. He had a game-winning catch, in my opinion. That 20-yard catch. 27-yard catch. 5 for 74. Cup had 5 for 46. Burner caught 3 for 27. Subbert caught 1 for 9. Walker caught 1 for 2. Charbonnet and Russell did not catch a ball. Emmanuel Warrior had 1 tackle, 1 assist, and 6 tackles. He also had the solo sack on the day. And Bryant, he got the interception, so happy for him, I guess. It was basically a forced interception that was on a tip ball that could have been pass interference, but happy for you. Shaheed had 5 kick returns for under 31 yards, a crucial return that got him to close to field goal range. He also had 1 punt return for 6 yards. Myers, I don't know if you can hear my clapping. Absolutely stellar day. Had all their points. All of their points. 6 for 6 on field goals. Long of 56. 18 points. He had a good day. I can't hate on him. He had a good day. Dixon, he punted 4 times for 193 yards. Notice how none of them are inside the 20, though? That's because Rigoberto Sanchez is the GOAT at punting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised it doesn't show the other injuries. But looking at the total stats, obviously, Colts got blown out. Other than rushing, we had 97 yards, they had 50. You just can't. You can't lose that game, man. You just can't. 250 yards to 314 because they had 264 passing yards. Well, we had 118. They had 5.3 yards to play. We had 3.7. They had 1 more first down. We were better on third down. They were 2 for 13 on third down. That is not good. Fourth down, they went 1 for 1. They had 1 more play, equal amount of sacks, but we had 1 more punt. They had more penalties, 5 for 34. We had 3 for 14. No fumbles lost, but Colts did throw an interception. We had the higher time of possession, which is expected considering you're running a lot. And he had 1 more tackle. They had 6 field goals. We had 3. Neither of them missed. But when we were in the red zone, we scored our touchdowns, and they didn't. So, yeah, I don't have much to say. Third in the South after leading 7. We were 7-1. Now we're 8-6. Leading the South by like 3 games, and now we're back by 2.5 because the Jaguars beat us. And guess our next game. I said players. Guess our next play. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's the 49ers. That's the 49ers. Let's go look at their defense. Let's go look at their defense. That's not going to show stats. Let's go look at their defense. What in the world? Okay, upon further examination, apparently the 49ers don't have the best defense. I thought they had a really good defense. Apparently not. Any other way, we're getting cooked by the 49ers. So, I would say there's always next year, but we don't even have our pick. I'll see you guys later. Peace. By the way, we play the Jaguars and the Texans again. That's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun with Philip Rivers, ain't it? Yeah, I'm out, though.